Did you know that the birth of Jesus was announced centuries before it happened? Prophets predicted the location, the manner, and even the name of the Messiah. Jesus was born in the small town of Bethlehem, in a simple manger. But that birth changed the course of human history forever. There was no room for them at the inn, so Mary gave birth in a stable, surrounded by animals. A bright star guided the wise men to the exact location. The Son of God had arrived in the most humble way possible. Angels announced the birth to shepherds in the fields. They rushed to see the baby Jesus. Today, more than 2 billion people celebrate that birth. No other event in human history has had such a lasting impact. One night, the disciples were rowing across the Sea of Galilee. The wind was strong, and the waves beat against the boat. Suddenly, they saw a figure walking on the water. They were terrified. They thought it was a ghost. But it was Jesus, walking calmly across the sea. Peter asked to come to Jesus by walking on the water. And for a few moments, Peter also walked on the waves. But when he looked at the wind, he became afraid and began to sink. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him. Then he said, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind stopped completely. The disciples worshipped him and said, "Truly, you are the Son of God."
An enormous crowd had been following Jesus to hear his teachings. There were more than 5,000 men, not counting women and children. The day was ending, and everyone was hungry. But there was not nearly enough food to feed so many people. A young boy had only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Jesus took that small offering, looked up to heaven, and gave thanks. Then he began breaking the food and handing it to his disciples, and the disciples distributed it to the crowd. Everyone ate until they were completely satisfied, and there were still 12 baskets of leftovers remaining. This miracle showed that in Jesus' hands, a little becomes more than enough. It is one of the most well-known stories in the entire Bible. During his ministry, Jesus healed hundreds of people. The blind received their sight. The deaf began to hear. The paralyzed stood up and walked. Lepers were completely restored. A man who had been blind from birth was healed by Jesus. Jesus made mud with dirt and saliva and placed it on the man's eyes. He told him to go and wash in the pool of Siloam. When the man washed his eyes, he came back seeing. The crowds were amazed by every healing. The religious leaders could not explain what was happening because no one had ever healed someone who was born blind. Through these healings, Jesus was showing the world who he truly was.
Jesus was crucified, and his body was placed in a sealed tomb. Roman soldiers stood guard at the entrance. It seemed like everything was over. His disciples were devastated and living in fear. But on the 3rd day, something impossible happened. The tomb was found empty. The burial cloths were folded neatly on the ground, and the enormous stone had been rolled away from the inside. Jesus appeared alive to more than 500 people. He ate with his disciples. He spoke with them. He showed them his wounds. The resurrection is the most transforming event in all of human history. If you believe this, leave an amen in the comments below.